The year 2025, Newsom cut funding for wildfire and forest resiliency by $101 million. They've decided to spend an additional $50 million to fight Trump on immigration.
Oh, come on.
Thanks, Gavin Newsom, you piece of shit. Gavin Newsom. Okay, so the LA fires, this has been going on. It's a tragedy. Obviously, we know this. And by the way, James Woods, who watches the show, he's been on the show. His entire neighborhood pretty much burned down except for his home.
Yeah.
And you have people on the left saying, oh, he was lying. Do you guys know how this works? They don't allow you in the neighborhood and they tell you that everything is burned down.
Yeah.
He was as surprised as you were. Frankly, it looks as close to a real life miracle as you can see when you look at his neighbors versus his house. So our heart goes out to him and those affected. I know he's helping those in his community. The LA fires, though, it's been politicized, of course. Now, if something is politicized, I want to be clear, it doesn't mean that it's politicized wrongly, because the root cause of it can be political in nature. And that's what we see with California and Gavin Newsom. So let me set this up for you. The Los Angeles fires, right? They've burned down at least 40,000 acres as of this broadcast, 150,000 evacuations.
Oh, shit. Yeah, don't worry about that, dude.
Just awful.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And hopefully, if we want to find common ground, the starting point is, how do we prevent this from happening again? That means some questions have to be asked. First off, when are the fires going to stop? Right? When will people be safe? Then you have to ask, what started them? Or who? Why wasn't the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, why wasn't she there? A lot of questions that are being asked. And the good news is that we have some answers, which brings us to Gavin Newsom. What a piece of shit. All references available, link in the description. We do have some answers. Okay, how did this happen? No, it's not climate change, to be clear. Matter of fact, you could argue that climate change activists are at the root of this. So let's go to Gavin Newsom, and we're going to go through some of his past policies too, so you can see that pattern of behavior. The year 2025, Newsom cut funding for wildfire and forest resiliency by $101 million. $101 million. And it's important to note that's what's happening for 2025, for this fiscal year, okay? And you know this, as of this Monday, at the same time, you might be saying, oh my gosh, okay, they just have to cut somewhere. Well, they've decided to spend an additional $50 million to fight Trump on immigration.
Oh, come on.
So just $101 million, just 50 of that $100 million as it relates to wildfire prevention, could have been right back there. They've decided that they want to politicize it. Let's fight Trump on immigration. And by that, they mean let immigrants in. Okay, illegal immigrants, their priority, their rights have been placed over yours in California. If you're an American citizen, you get to the back of the line. In 2020, Newsom launched this program, okay, which sounds good on its surface, to alleviate these sort of bureaucratic hurdles as it related to clearing brush. You guys know this. You have to clear underbrush if you want to prevent fires. Okay, so that seems like a good idea, right? Here's the problem. Despite this project, it spanned 525 individual projects, right? 650,000 acres were approved. Only 6,000 of the acres have been cleared.
Jeez.
There have been 0 completed projects in the Los Angeles area. And the California State Park Superintendent, his name is Richard Fink, said that the state doesn't clear brush because, quote, we're here to protect the natural habitat. Thanks, Gavin Newsom. What a piece of shit. So the result has been residents having to apply for a permit, pay a fee, and then clear the brush themselves. Gavin Newsom, what a piece of shit. Since 2014.
Whoa.
Since 2014, again, voters approved these bonds to build new water storage in California, right? So the voters said, yeah, we have to have more water storage. Okay, it was put to a vote. The Democrat Party, the leader of the Democrat Party in California, Gavin Newsom, has completed 0. None.
What?
None whatsoever. To show you how asinine environmentalism has become, in placing the earth, and more so, environmental policy, the ism, the dogmatic religion of neo-environmentalism over the rights of California citizens. I don't think it can be displayed for you better than this next video. Here is excess rainwater. You're sitting there going like, oh, rain, California, they need water. Water literally falls from the sky. Here it is, draining right out into the ocean.
That ledge right there at the bottom is called the Stilling Basin. And then it flows on to the channel.
So yeah, California, they live on the ocean. They just can't use it.
Well, that water didn't have any salt in it. They had to salt the water, put it in the ocean.
They have to put it in.
Otherwise, it would be drinkable.
How about this as a policy? Just a starting off point. Okay, import water in California, bring it in, reservoirs, and no exporting. Think that would make a difference? Think that would make a difference? They're draining their own reservoirs. That begs the question, why? Well, we got to the clearing the underbrush. And by the way, do you have any idea how bad it has to be as far as underbrush for trees? Right now, you could go out to a tree in your backyard. Don't do this. And hold a map torch to it, and it would not light on fire. It would require extreme heat, or an extreme amount of time. What you can do is if you can chop some wood, like wood from a live tree, fresh wood, put it in a fire. You'll probably wait for 45 minutes to an hour as it steams before it lights on fire. That means this has not been cleared for a very, very long time because environmentalists have gotten it wrong again. Here's another area where they've gotten it wrong. References available. Gavin Newsom in August of 2024, and this was fact-checked by PolitiFact as not being true. It is true. The guidelines prioritize fish over farmers in that they allocated more water for an endangered fish while limiting what farmers could access. Gavin Newsom, what a piece of shit. And in one case, it's a fish that can't even swim.
What?
Yeah. You know what that fish should be called? Extinct.
Dead, yes. It shouldn't have a name.
So farmers in the San Joaquin Valley, they were actually losing, or they were facing a loss of 20% of irrigated ground. Why did Newsom do this? Again, to preempt new federal rules by Trump. You can hear it on the Joe Rogan show. He talked about this specifically on the Joe Rogan podcast. That's something like 40 million plays. Also, Gavin Newsom did this in 2019 to defy Trump. So we'll cut wildfire management by $100 million, spend $50 million to fight Trump on immigration. In this case, I'm going to stick it to Trump by harming the citizens of my own state. If that is not a reason for a recall in California, you are beyond hope. To give you an idea, too, other policies, Gavin Newsom, just to show maybe not malice, but inefficiency, from 2019 to now, they spent $135 billion on high-speed trains. Again, environmentalism, because they want mass transit. They don't want you to have a car. It's also why you get penalized if you drive certain vehicles or if you sell certain vehicles in California. These high-speed trains were supposed to connect LA to San Francisco. Right now, we are 2025. Not one passenger. I know what you're thinking. Some? No. 0 passengers have been served. Thanks, Gavin Newsom, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Give it time.
2023, after Californians were facing a constant homeless problem, needles and human excrement in the street, and again complaining and voting in municipalities to try and fix it, well, Gavin Newsom finally heard their pleas. And, did I say heard their pleas? No.
Yeah.
He wanted to keep up appearances, and he finally cleaned off the streets of San Francisco for communist Xi Jinping's visit.
Folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true. Because it's true.
And just some other ones that I want to throw in because I don't like them. October 2024, Newsom signed a bill that prohibited voter ID. What a piece of shit. 2024, the year 2024 to 2025, that fiscal year, $73 billion state budget deficit. Of note, this was just released, I believe, this morning.
Yeah.
Texas just saw a budget surplus of $24 billion.
There you
Wow,
go.
that's impressive
Attaboy,
considering the
Texas.
difference in taxes.
Yes, it absolutely
No
is.
personal income tax.
No personal income tax. Property taxes are high.
Yeah.
But again, that's a pretty wide spread. 70-something billion deficit, 24 billion surplus. Texas, hey, good for you. That'll buy a lot of wheelchairs.
We only need
Or one really good one.
Yeah.
And here's, one in solid gold. Diamond wheels. The thing is,
A rod spinners.
I don't know if California can ever fix it. This has been going on for a very, very long time. This is a perfect example of brainwashing. The people who are in California, they still believe it. You have people there who believe that this is the byproduct of, my God, climate change. And if they don't get it right, the state that is probably the most beautiful in the union, arguably for sure, definitely top 3, and more rich in natural resources than, again, top 3 any other state, there is no reason for California to not be able to make it work. They have every single natural advantage, and they keep screwing it up because of leaders like Gavin Newsom. If they continue this way, I don't know. I think California at this point is pretty much doomed.
Was a stunner, now it's such a bummer. How they get this way, leadership is getting dumber. Burning down LA to keep a little old fish alive. The Golden State just might not survive. California, rest in peace. It's a liberal disease. Gavin Newsom, back of the sleeves. California, get off your knees. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was darker than I anticipated.
A little bit.
Just to give you some background, because we're grilling Hegseth and people like Brett Kavanaugh, effectively Boy Scouts in comparison. Look, people make mistakes. I'll point them out, just because at this point, I guess tit for tat. In 2005, while he was San Francisco mayor, Newsom had an affair with his secretary. Some would say, what a piece of shit. She was married to his campaign manager. And while we're discussing charges that have been completely unverified and largely cleared of Hegseth, Newsom was accused, and here's the thing, repeatedly, going back, I believe, as far as 2007, of alcoholism. And a big reason why is because of plenty of videographic evidence.
So I'm asking about the attack on the Yale students over New Year's, and it's kind of spreading across the country. A couple other, some news outlets in other countries are picking it up.
And it's a good reminder how important it is to remind our parents to be good stewards of underage drinking.
I appreciate that. The only other question I have is, it hasn't been a very easy week for you, and I'm wondering whether you have any comment on the Mateer and Roth story about the drinking.
Thank you very much. That was a great cheap shot. You can't help yourself. You cannot.
Now, maybe he was drunk or not, or on blow or not, but
Or both, or not.
the issue is the lying, because then he claimed to have entered rehab.
Yeah.
Right? It was sort of, all right, okay. So, but then in 2018, it was confirmed because Newsom admitted he actually never went to rehab. What a piece of shit. It's the lying. Right? They don't actually care. This is the left wants to hold you to a standard that is one that's unattainable, while they hold themselves to none whatsoever. California is a wreck. It's a disaster. It is a disaster as a direct result of policies by people like Gavin Newsom and the Democrat Party. And he's more concerned with the rhetoric. Whenever the left says, hey, it's time to unite, you know they're lying to you. You know they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes. And don't call this man Newscum, because it really, it hurts his feels.
I'm not naive. I get the California derangement syndrome. I've been living with that for years and years. New scum. In the same 7th grade. I remember the guy on Baltimore Avenue that called me new scum. I was in 7th grade. I can handle that.
Apparently.
On the outside.
No, I do. I feel, because unfortunately the guy in Baltimore Avenue was his dad. That's been this week's installment of What a Piece of Shit. We gave you the segment on Gavin Newsom earlier, but we didn't get to this week's, actually, the 7+1 Gavin Newsom's excuses and or comments on the California fires. This is this week's 7+1.
Yeah.
You forgot the one in the chamber.
Again, 7+1 Gavin Newsom's comments or excuses when asked about the wildfires. Number 7, well, they're called fire hydrants, not water hydrants.
Oh, that makes sense.
Not wrong. Idiot.
Number 6, Mr. Kelsey.
I know that pomade is extremely flammable now.
Yeah, they don't put that on the box.
Yeah.
Number 5, you say I burned down our state. I say we fix traffic. Oh, that seems inconsiderate.
That's nice of him.
But also true?
I guess.
Because it's true.
Number 4, CEO Captain Morgan.
Hey, only you can prevent forest fires.
That's right. It's on you.
Okay.
Don't look at him.
After paying a fee, yeah.
That's your boss?
getting a permit.
Yeah.
So
Number 3, you know what, Kelsey? Yeah.
Don't worry. You can still get abortions.
Well, hey,
it's,
we can
you know.
sleep easy.
We're not animals.
No, we're not animals. Number 2, he said, in retrospect, it was a mistake to appoint to forest and wildfire. Let me do this again. Number 2, in retrospect, it was a mistake to appoint forest and wildlife chief arsonist Bob.
Well,
That seems like he should have.
I mean, he has a track record.
That seems like he should have known.
what's his nickname?
Number 1, he said that actually he, don't look at him. Look, it was always burning since the world's been turning. Is that just, you're just doing, Gavin.
You're better.
We expect better, kind of. And the +1 excuses for the California wildfires. Gavin Newsom said that Kimberly Guilfoyle firebombed my car. This has been this week's 7+1. Hey, if you like this video, you can comment below. We always appreciate your feedback. Or click one of these, which will be similar as far as rebuttals, claims, truths. Maybe it changed my mind. Or sometimes we talk about the difference between men and women, how dogs are different from cats, airline food. No punchline, just premises, because this is the internet in the 21st damn century.